Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got.
You can go from happy and grateful to angry and miserable, like this. But you can also do the opposite. That's the good news.
So how many people here actually woke up this morning and consciously created a future? You see, if you knew on a gut level that it was absolutely true, would you ever miss a day?
In that moment, you are not longer a victim of your old programming. In that moment, you can change. But it always starts with awareness.
All you have to focus on in your life is find a way to add more value than anybody else does, and you'll never have to worry about anything. Be the person that does more for others, and life will just be anything you want out of it. It really is what it is. And he also said the way to do that is every day work harder on yourself than anything else.
Welcome back to hopefully still your favorite self-help podcast. Today's a special episode. Why is it special? Because I have wisdom waiting for you from none other than Jim Rohn, who was the original teacher of Tony Robbins. We have lessons that I've learned from people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Mel Robbins, so many incredible teachers that I came across in the last couple of years. And today's just about sharing wisdom, sharing treasures. I was doing that in front of a group in Italy. I was a little hesitant to share this because it's raining, because the lighting of this video is not perfect, and my handwriting is very ugly, and you will see my handwriting. But then, if I can share one piece of advice that is coming straight from my life experience, then that imperfect action always beats perfect inaction. Really, I get to meet incredible people, interview them, and one thing they all have in common is they implement, they take action. They don't believe in failure, they believe in results. They take action, they get a result. If they don't like the result, they take new action, they learn, but they are doers, they are makers. And so today you have an imperfect episode, but a lot of wisdom. And I hope you enjoy. I hope even more you implement afterwards. And if you enjoy listening to this podcast, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to let me know when you listen to it. Take a picture when you are going on a walk and you listen to the podcast. Tag me on Instagram. I'm doing this here for you. My goal here with this podcast is to give you the ideas, the knowledge, the strategies from the most brilliant minds. And if you share this podcast, if you subscribe, if you leave reviews, you are helping us. You are helping yourself to get access to that knowledge. So just make sure to subscribe. That would be the first step. And then, without further ado, we get the party started. I have an offer for you. Saul, I would like to give you $10 million. Would you take it?
Absolutely.
There's only one catch. There's only one little tiny catch. You won't be able to wake up tomorrow.
Oh, I see.
Will you still do the deal? Does anybody have a pet, a dog, something? Yeah, Vicky? What's his or her name?
Panda.
Panda? Beautiful. What breed is it?
Like 8 different ones.
8 different ones?
Yeah.
In one dog?
Yeah, it's a Portuguese street dog.
Okay, wonderful. So Panda, right?
Panda.
Okay, I'm going to make you a similar proposal. Not as much money. Let's say 5 million. I offer you 5 million. Will you take it?
If it means I cannot keep my dog, no.
Okay. See where I'm going?
Yeah.
All right. I could do this the whole day. And that is one of the first treasures I want to share with you. One of the biggest truths that I think we often forget, which is you were born rich. You're so incredibly rich, you just forgot. If you speak to a person who lost their health, and you're doing that exactly right now, because you're kind of speaking to me, or at least listening, then you will hear the following. I would have given everything away and more to get my health back. That's how rich you are. You wouldn't give your dog away for 5 million. It's actually wild if you really think about it. Sounds a little bit romantic, but it's true. You wouldn't give your best friend away. You wouldn't trade your best friend for a couple millions. Just to give you an idea how rich you are. And then I can tell you, when I was in the hospital being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I would have given everything away, my business, my money, everything materialistic that I own, just to be healthy again, just to walk out of there and just be healthy. That's how rich you are. Remember yesterday I told you, when you have goals, when you want that house, that car, that job, that amount of money, it's never the thing you want, it's the feeling you want. Here's the news. The feeling is created by who? By yourself. You don't have to wait for that thing to have that feeling. Let me ask you a question. Are there people who have the money and all of it? The money, the fame, the cars, and still don't feel rich and don't feel safe? So it's not the thing that gives you the feeling. It's you who gives you that feeling. You want a partner to get a feeling, no? Often. Well, how about you feel that feeling right now? And then magic happens. That thing that you wanted usually comes with way more ease and even faster. So the trick is, and if you only remember one thing from the next 45 minutes, it would be this thing. The trick is to feel as if it's already there and it will come. Often people say, once I see it, I believe it. The truth is it's the opposite. Once I believe it, I see it. Not once I see it, I believe it, because then you will wait your whole life to see it. You need to believe it, then you will see it. If you don't believe there's true love, and you say, oh, once someone proves it to me, then I'll believe it. Might be the case that never happens. If you say, oh, well, once a client believes in me and my abilities, once that happens, well, then I will be confident. It's the other way around. It starts always with you. So today you'll get treasures. The first treasure is you were born rich. Every single person I see here has the ability to walk. Speak to someone who doesn't have the ability to walk, and I know what it's like. It's worth millions, hundreds of millions, everything. Ask someone who has lost their health. They will tell you, I give you everything. You know what? I even pay you $10 million for the next 20 years, you know, as in debt. That's how rich you are. So every single day, every single morning, keep that in mind. You were born rich, and I could ask you to write down 1 million things that make your life rich already. Don't make the mistake to say, once I have this, I will be happy, I will be grateful, Axel, then I will feel rich. Because that won't happen. You will achieve that thing, you will get that thing, and you will still feel, oh fuck. You still feel the lack. So it's something you create right here, right now. And I don't see 50 Bugattis here. Okay? I don't see a 5-star luxury resort. It's just people coming together. The second treasure I would like to pass on, and that is a treasure that I've experienced so many times in my life, the importance of it. If you go to, whether you go to Tony Robbins, Dr. Joe Dispenza, my events, you will notice one pattern. They all do one thing. And it's also, does anybody know Rafa Nadal?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Okay, if you would have said no, I would have just I would have just left. One thing that he did before his matches, he was famous for it, was he was jumping around. He was using his body. He got himself into a peak state. You will see many athletes, they have a ritual. Some of you work with athletes, so you will know this. They have a ritual before they go on stage football teams. Anybody played in a football team before? Okay, wonderful. I don't know how it was for you, but when I played football, you had a ritual that brought you into a beautiful state. And state is so crucially important. So whether it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, wherever you go, you will see they all work with changing your state. That's the very reason why I brought Francesco, here every morning to put you into a beautiful state. Because in a beautiful state, you make better decisions. And in a lousy state, you usually make lousy decisions. Have you ever been really, really hungry and tired? Isn't it funny in those moments you kind of make those, let me just get some fast food. And as you learned yesterday, you have so many different states available to you all the time. You have different radio channels within you. You can change your state how quick? In seconds. You can go from happy and grateful to angry and miserable, like this. But you can also do the opposite. That's the good news. If you want to make beautiful decisions, you have multiple anchors in your day to bring yourself into a nice state. What brings you into a nice state? What are a couple of things that don't take much effort, much time, that brings you into a nice state? Moving, breathing, meditation, gratitude, journaling, music, anything that moves your body. Tony Robbins has this famous quote, motion creates emotion. Let me ask you, if you're in a lousy state, how high is your motivation to move or dance? Close to zero. But that's the really thing that we need to do when we find ourselves in a lousy state. So state is everything. Imagine I would come up here and speak to you like this. Hi, everybody. My name is Axel, and today I will share with you my treasures and motivate you and inspire you. She's leaving. So I'm getting the fuck out of here. Wake this man up. So we need to be super aware of the importance of our state. So before you have an important meeting, before you have a podcast, whatever you do in your life, make sure you put yourself into a beautiful state. Some public speakers, they travel with their freaking trampolines. They do for some people it's qigong, for some people it's yoga, for some people it's dancing. Whatever resonates with you, that includes moving your body. Your attitude determines your altitude. Your attitude, your energy, how you show up in life determines your altitude. How far you come in life. The results you get in life. Whatever far means for you. Whatever success means for you. Your attitude determines your altitude. I just showed it to you. That if I would show up like this here, it would have a different effect. It would have different results, different outcomes. What is an attitude that you appreciate? When other people come up with this kind of attitude, you always like it, you always appreciate it. Give me a couple of words. Excitement. What else?
Motivation.
Openness. Motivation. Positivity. So you're telling me nobody enjoys it when you come into the room and you say, oh, this is shit, this is shit, this is shit, I'm grumpy? Keep that in mind every morning when you wake up and you walk into the office. Because it also passes on. They often say positivity is contagious, and so is negativity. I come from sales and finance, and there is this story that we tell. It was a rainy day here today, and once upon a time it was a rainy day for a sales team, and they were selling door to door, you know. And so it was raining inside, and half of the people inside of the sales team, they said, oh fuck, it's raining today. We can't make any sales. And the other group, sitting in a different office, doing personal development work, they said, wow, it's raining today. Everybody is at home, especially all the salespeople. So what a good day to make sales. Do you see the difference in attitude? I don't tell you what kind of attitude to establish in your life, but it's choice time for you. How do you want to show up? What is the attitude? And just write it down right now. The general attitude that you want to come back to is what? How do you want to show up in life? What kind of person do you want to be? For what kind of attitude do you want to be remembered for? For what kind of words do you want to be remembered for? The fourth treasure that I have for you is this sentence that I heard once. Words are spells. Your language is so incredibly important. If you want to achieve something and you tell yourself, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, I guarantee you, you will be right. Even if you would have the potential to actually do it. So whatever you are putting out into the world through your mouth, be aware it's really powerful. That's where it all starts. That's where communication actually starts, with yourself. Words shape your beliefs and vice versa. I shared the story the other day. There was a guy who, I think he was 26 years old. He took part of a clinical trial. And the clinical trial was about antidepressants. So everybody who took part of the clinical trial thought they're taking antidepressants. But in a clinical trial, you often have a placebo group, right? And they don't tell anybody you're in the placebo group. They don't often even tell people there is a placebo group. So that young man was processing a breakup and felt like he couldn't handle the pain anymore. And that is usually the point when people end their life. Unfortunately, in those moments, people believe it is, the pain is going to be less. It's going to be better to not be alive than to be alive. That's the moment when you say it's done. It's obviously a lie, it's not true. There's obviously so much space and capability for every single emotion. We're going to speak about that later. But back to the story for a second. So that guy took almost 30 pills, 30 antidepressants to end his life, to commit suicide. And they found him, rushed him to the hospital. He had critical low blood pressure. He was sweating, and the doctors thought he's going to die. They gave him 6 liters of IV to save him. Nothing changed. And a couple hours later, the person who was leading the clinical trial came by and said, well, you were part of the placebo group. You didn't take anything. Guess what happened? Within hours, back to normal. If you think about a placebo, if you actually understand how crazy the concept is, that people take nothing but a pill, a sugar pill, or not even a sugar pill, it's not even sweet, it's just a pill. But because of the power of belief, it changes something within. It's absolutely nuts. That should tell you how powerful your mind is, your brain is, your whole body is, your words are. Words are spells. So be careful with what you say. When someone says, I am, my ears go here. because it tells you so much about a person. I am like this. I am big boned. I am da, 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 da. So whenever you listen to your own language, just notice that for a second. And that leads me to the fifth treasure, which is stand guard at the door of your mind. One of my favorite teachers of all time, Jim Rohn, I hope you remember his name and study his work, used to say, stand guard at the door of your mind. If you notice yourself saying something destructive about yourself, about your capabilities, if you can pause, if you can catch it, that's already a win. In that moment, you are not longer a victim of your old programming. In that moment, you can change, but it always starts with awareness. So you can almost celebrate when you catch yourself saying, I am, I am a beginner. I had a doctor here last week. She has been obviously studying medicine. She's been working in this field. So she had 16 years of experience working with people. She wants to, like many of you, wants to transition now, working online with people. And she said the whole time, I'm a beginner. I'm a beginner. I'm a beginner. I'm a beginner. And I'm like, interesting, because you're acting like one. But is it really true? And that can be one of those guiding questions for all of you. Is it really true about me? In her case, obviously not. I told her, what are you talking about? You have been working in this field for 16 years. How are you a beginner? And she's like, oh, I've never seen it this way. Interesting. But do you understand how this is changing everything for her? If you say, I'm a beginner, I'm a beginner, I'm a beginner, you act like a beginner. Your words change everything. So next time when you catch yourself thinking a thought that is not helpful and you can just witness that moment, that is already a win. In that moment, you can change your entire future. Which leads me to number 6. And I think you know this one already, so this will be a reminder. Where focus goes, so everybody has heard this before. Where focus goes, energy flows. How many times in your life do you focus actually on the things you don't want? I teach about this shit and I catch myself every single time, every single day, couple times to focus on something that I actually don't want in my life. So this is one of the greatest meditations that life has to offer for you. One of the most beautiful challenges. I don't know if any of us will ever finish this challenge. At my retreat in Mallorca, I invited a monk and a former monk, and I asked him, what is the best lesson you've ever received, that you've ever learned from one of your teachers? And he said, watch your mind, watch your focus. Whatever you focus on, you will experience in your life. I gave you the example a bit earlier. I don't know if you remember. There's this phenomenon in Germany and in many other countries. It's not Germany, but I'm German, so I can make fun of my fellow Germans. In the winter, oh my gosh, it's so cold. I cannot wait for the sun. Then the sun comes. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. I cannot wait for it to get colder. Where's the focus? On what's good or what's bad? And that kind of person with that kind of focus, it doesn't matter where this person will go. Bali, or in Bali, that person will say, oh my gosh, so many mosquitoes, it's so hot. Then this person goes to Australia, oh my gosh, there are snakes and animals. Oh. The place changes, but the person is not changing. And this is such a habit thing. A happy and fulfilled person is most of the time focusing on what's good or what's bad. On what's already there or what's missing. Past, present, or future? You can ask yourself the same question. What are you focusing on the majority of the time? What's good, what's bad? What's already there, what's missing? the past, the present, the future. Haven't met too many people who actually, give the right answers, the answers you gave me, that 99% of the people give me or give when I ask that question. If right now you can just understand how powerful your focus is, and that this is the meditation that after this event you hopefully practice on a daily basis, bringing your focus back to what you actually want, instead of entertaining a story and going so deep into a rabbit hole somewhere in your head of probably a story that you've told yourself already 1,000,000 times. And this is one of the reminders I wish I would have gotten in my hospital room. This one shift changed my whole life. It's called creating evergreen products. Evergreen products are one of the best inventions of humankind. It enables you to change lives, to also make money while you sleep. And I'm serious, I mean it. I created a free training showing you exactly how you can do that. How you can create win-win concepts so that your teachings are completely scalable and you also for yourself have automated income. So you don't have to worry every single month, oh, how will I make money the next month? Because you have a certain amount of money knowing it will come. That's the beauty of evergreen content and evergreen courses and evergreen products in general. I created a free training. All it takes for you is to click on that link and sign up and watch it and execute it. It could completely change yours because it did change mine and the ones of my clients. Enjoy. You can't focus on unwanted and expect wanted. One of those sentences I read every single day. You can't focus on unwanted and expect wanted. Which is obviously tricky if you're going, for example, through health issues. It's much easier to focus on the things that you don't want than to actually ask yourself, what do I want? If you would pause two people in an argument and you really ask them, what is it that you actually want? Do you want to prove the other person wrong or right? Do you want to hurt the other person? I don't think anybody would say that. But we are so often just unconsciously focusing on unwanted that's what we experience. You told me earlier, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you focus on what you don't want, this is what grows. This is what you will experience. So your job is to focus as much as you can on the things you want, the feelings you want to experience, the people you want to attract. Isn't it interesting that two people can experience the same thing, but have they have the same reality. They go to the same, happened to me so many times. I have an example. I went to an event, a retreat, because I do all of the work as well. I went to an event and I had the time of my life. I learned so much. There were 10,000 people in this arena. And I just had the time of my life. I was like, this is one of the best days of my entire life. I'm having so much fun. I'm learning so much. And then I'm trying to get food because I noticed I haven't eaten in forever. Maybe I should eat something. And we got a break. And I meet this other guy he was Swiss. And I see his facial expression and it didn't feel like he was having a good time. And, me in my positive state, extroverted, I'm like, tell me, how is it for you? What are you learning? And he's like, fuck, I hate it here. I don't have the ability to eat because the lines are so big. The toilets stink. And then he was, teaching the teacher, basically. He should be talking about this. And I didn't like this. And I'm like, interesting. We're at the same place, but we have completely different experiences. I didn't even notice about most of the things that he was mentioning, because I focused on what can I learn here, not what is bad here. His focus is on what are all the negative things here. And that's what he experienced, although we had the same reality. So one of the most important questions that you can ask yourself in your life is, what do I actually want? Everybody has a list that long about things they don't want. I don't want to be in this job. I don't want to live there. And and then you pause and you ask, but what is it that you really want? And there's a long coming. Because most of the time in our lives, we focus on the things we don't want. Everybody can, go on a rant about the things that are bad, the things they don't want. Like, I would say the 1%, and I hope you're part of the 1%, actually ask themselves, what is it that I truly want? What do I want to focus on? What do I want in life? I hope I could call you in the middle of the night in Portugal, in Germany, or wherever you live, in Australia, and say, "Good day, mate. What do you want?" It's one of the common denominators of what I call successful people, happy people, people who really enjoy their lives. They are pretty clear about what they want to experience, what they want in life. So take a little break right now and ask yourself, if I ask you, what do you want? What is your answer? And write it down. If I ask yourself, what do you want? What is your answer? In general. And don't judge whatever comes up. What do you want right now? And just see what comes up. Sometimes words like peace come up. Sometimes a word like discomfort comes up, growth. If it's a thing that comes up, ask yourself, what is the feeling I actually want? Feeling that feeling before the thing is there is the key. That if you are looking for a cheat code, that is your cheat code. People obviously don't like to hear that. Most people think the money will give them the abundance. But it's not the case. Otherwise, everybody with money would feel very abundant. And you told me earlier, you can have a lot of money and still be really broke. I actually know a lot of people who have a lot of money, but they run around through life like you would think they're completely broke, counting every single penny, being paranoid about every single penny they're spending. The important thing is you feel the feeling before the thing that you want is there. So on a daily basis. Don't make the mistake to say, once I have it, I'm going to feel like this. We're asking for a partner. So what we want is actually love and connection, right? But we forget about all the amazing people who are already loving us and that we already love. And wouldn't you say love towards your friends, your family is also love, kind of in a way? So it's already there. Your loving community that we spoke yesterday, the community you want, the feeling that you want, this connection to people right now is with you. Study blue zones where people live longer, happier lives. What you will actually be very surprised about, there are beautiful documentaries about this. And you would think that those are people who, they wake up every morning early, they eat their broccoli sprouts, they go to the gym and Often, they drink wine, they party, some of them even smoke. Not saying that's the reason why they live so long. What they all have in common is they have massive amounts of people who love them, community. They leave their freaking doors open. That's how much they trust and believe in their community. They just come out whenever. So the sense of community is incredibly important. You need a compelling vision of the future, and you will love this part. Does anybody know Viktor Frankl? He was psychiatrist during World War II. And he got deported to a concentration camp. He lost many of his loved ones, were killed in front of him. And he wrote a book about his time in the concentration camp. And he also noticed one really important thing, which is people who had a compelling vision, not version, compelling vision of the future, especially during the dark time, nobody here, I think, can even imagine what it's like to live in a concentration camp. But he noticed the people who had a compelling vision of the future, like something they could look forward to, had higher chances of survival. We need something in the future that excites us. If we think tomorrow that it won't be another day, if we think tomorrow has nothing to offer to us, no joy, nothing, obviously there's very little intrinsic motivation to live a happy, to even wake up, to get out of the bed. So you need, incredibly important, you need a compelling vision of the future. That's why I asked you, what do you want? What do you want to experience? I was, and I'm not, just, in my life, it wasn't just rainbow, butterflies and everything. During the darkest time of my life, what kept me going was a compelling vision of the future. So I don't know if you know that part about my story. A couple years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And doctors told me that I have a couple days left to live. The good news is I'm here. So it went a bit longer, and I think it's going to be very, very long time. I know, not just I think. And that was 2021. So it was, and then I went through treatment and all of it. And it's one thing to go through cancer treatment. It's another thing to do it during the pandemic. I don't know if anybody remembers this time when you couldn't gather, when you couldn't cuddle like you just cuddled, but everybody was wearing a mask. So I was most of the time by myself or with one person because of regulations. And that one person saw me struggling. That one person follows my teachings, my retreats, and all of what I'm preaching about, and gave me a gentle reminder of walk your talk. What you need right now, what we're going to do today is, and I have a picture of this, is we're going to create a vision board for you in your freaking hospital room. Send me all the pictures, all the things you still want to do in life, and we put it on the wall so you have a reminder every single day. So I remember this one picture, it was, for some reason that became very important for me during that time when I was quote unquote like scared to die. I had this picture of a couple sitting on a motorbike, probably somewhere in Italy, having a big, that went to my wall because that was something like I was hoping for, I was wishing for, that's what I wanted. Love and connection and a long, beautiful life. I put you're Australian, so it's a beautiful, beautiful synchronicity. I wanted to go to the Australian Open, a tennis tournament for those of you who who don't know. All of those things were my vision of a compelling future. So I'm wondering, what is yours? And how can you look at it on a daily basis? It could be your phone, a screensaver. It could be on your fridge. If you want, you can put it right in front of your toilet. Because especially men, all the girls are laughing. They can spend a lot of time on the toilet. Use that time, okay? Instead of scrolling on your phone, reach your freaking goals. Get a reminder for what's really important in your life. Everything you just heard is potential power. Knowledge is potential power. In schools, they always say knowledge is power, and I really believe in the importance of learning. I made a deal with myself, one of the best deals I've ever made in my entire life, 10 years ago, to read on a daily basis for at least 30 minutes, to feed my mind for 30 minutes on a daily basis. One of the best things I've ever done. But it's one thing to read, to have the knowledge, and it's a whole different thing to actually act, to actually take action. And that's when potential power is translated into real power. So whatever idea you had here today or in the last 3-4 days with me, it's nothing but hot air unless you act on it, unless you change something, unless you take action. And if I can communicate one wish, that would be mine. If you just take one of those many ideas you have and you follow through on it and you take action, just one step at a time. Success leaves clues. Whatever you are trying to achieve, the odds are very high that someone has done it in the past. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Whatever you are trying to achieve, study the people, surround yourself, best case, with the people who have done that already. Erika asked me yesterday, how is it to host a retreat? Because she has I hope it's okay that I communicate, she wants to host retreats as well. What I told her is, well, surround yourself with people, volunteer, work with people who are doing it. That's the fast track, because they have already all of the experience. I'm sure there are even YouTube videos, books about people who teach that stuff for free, and you can just take the knowledge and act on it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And if you are really the first person to walk the path that you want to walk on, I would even say in history someone walked a similar path. Something interesting changes when you see other people did it before. You notice, especially if you meet them in person, oh my gosh. In German we say, we all cook with the same water. Like the people you put, the stars, the brands you follow online, you put them on a pedestal until you meet them in real life, and then you're like, oh really? There's just a normal human being like me as well. That person just took different action. Often that person has been doing that for a long time. You meet all of those singers. There's this, who knows Ed Sheeran? There's this beautiful clip where he was at a talk show, and he was talking about, people always tell him, you're so talented, you're so talented. You know that clip? He pulls out his phone and plays a song from when he just started. People forget that he has been practicing every single day for decades, okay? Of course, if you practice something, there's this 10,000 hour rule. If you practice something for 10,000 hours, you become incredibly good at it. But most people, they start and they're like, I want to be good right now. I don't want to be practicing right now. Don't be that person. Surround yourself with people who have already achieved what you want to achieve. That's the fast path. Because you can learn from their mistakes. They can also, you will be surprised how sweet and kind most people are. When you ask them, can you actually give me a piece of advice? I want to achieve that. They usually, Guido's sitting here, he's a TEDx speaker. If anybody no, everybody will come to you, but if you would ask him, hey Guido, how can I become a public speaker? He would give you a couple of tips because he's a great guy. And most people are, great people. I believe everybody has a good heart. Just some people are hurt and still act on it. Surround yourself with people who walk the path that you want to walk on. Does anybody know Roger Bannister? You have read some books, huh? Anybody else who knows Roger Bannister? So Roger Bannister, mind-blowing story that you're about to hear. So if I can ask for 5 more minutes of your attention in this rain. I know it's not easy, I know it's cold, but this is some profound shit. This knowledge here accumulated, by the way, is the work of so many different people who've walked the path before us. So this is some valuable shit. Roger Bannister was the person who ran the first 4-minute mile. So 1 mile faster than 4 minutes. Before that, doctors said it is impossible. You can go back, there are newspaper articles saying it's impossible for the human body to run a mile faster than 4 minutes. It's just impossible. The human body is not capable. You will collapse. You will die. It's not possible. So that young guy, Roger Bannister, he was a student. He wasn't the Usain Bolt of his generation. He was a good runner, but not like, there's some athletes, if you say their name, most people will know them, like Maradona. Usain Bolt. Like, you know those people. You've never heard about Roger Bannister. So that young man said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to train for it. He knew words are spells. So if I say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, it'll be my reality. He was somewhat aware. I'm telling the story, so you kind of know where it's going. He was the first person to run a mile faster than 4 minutes. And on that day, it was windy. But he still somehow managed. But that's not the reason why I'm telling the story. Guess what happens next? Up until now, more than 1,000 people did it. After that, a lot of other people did it, who had the potential already, but because of the words and their beliefs, were not able to do it. They saw Roger Bannister doing it and said, okay, how did he do it? How did he train for it? What was his pace like? Success leaves clues. And they started believing because of him that it's possible. So whatever your 1 minute mile is, what you think is so, oh my gosh, it's impossible for me, find someone who has already done it. Maybe not the exact same thing has been done before, but honestly, based on what I heard from you, nobody asked to be the next Beyonce. You guys are all using the streets that someone else has built before, no? You're not trying to like, no, someone has built, no, I didn't build this road, I'm gonna make my own road. Nobody's doing that. It would be stupid, but when it comes to work and business and books and I wanna be a speaker, we're trying to do this. We're trying to, let me not build this beautiful roads, this insane amount of knowledge that's available there. Let me do it myself. So here my treasures summarized. You were born rich. Right now, I don't care in what life situation you are, there's so many things that make your life incredibly rich. Everybody here can walk. Everybody here can breathe. You are so incredibly freaking wealthy. Your state of being is everything. Every day have a couple of anchors during the day where you go back to a positive, beautiful state. Watch your attitude, because it determines your altitude. Watch your words, because they kind of create your reality. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Watch your mind and celebrate every single time when you notice your mind goes somewhere that you don't like. You're saying words that are not true. You can't focus on unwanted and expect wanted. Really, it's the sentence, I think Esther Hicks, I don't know who was the first person to say those sentences. I also always love when people say, well, that's my quote. And then you read a book 2,000 years ago and freaking Marcus Aurelius already said it 2,000 years ago. I don't know whose quote that is. But whoever owns this quote, I love you. Who said it for the first time? People to read the book, The Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Has anybody read that book? Beautiful. How many times has someone recommended this book to you before? Yes. Okay, perfect. And you still haven't read it. Love it. Love it. That book is thousands of years old, and it's the same things that, nowadays your favorite people communicate. You need a compelling vision of the future. Create a vision board. From all my fellow men, send me a picture of what you will see in the future when you take your sweet time on the toilet. Knowledge is potential power. You need to act. And I'm going to ask you right now, what is something right after this event, right after this retreat, what is something that you will do, that you're committing to do, that you're committing to change? Otherwise, your life will be like before. Last but not least, whatever the main thing is that you want to create, find someone who has done it before. Spend as much time with that person as you can and ask them really good questions. Don't try to teach the person that you want to learn from. Okay? And those were 10 treasures that have been gifted to me. I would love to give them to you, pass them on to a good friend, a loved one. Let's all use the roads that other generations have created for us. my biggest wish is that you don't forget how rich you are already. That you don't need more to feel rich, grateful already. Your life is already so full of wealth you've just forgotten. And you can become more, you can create more, and still be happy and grateful for what already is here. And if you walk with that attitude of gratitude through your life, it becomes magical. My book, my first ever book, maybe this is happening for you, not to you, is available for pre-order right now. Behind the scenes, for the last 2 years, I've been working on this project, on this book. I put my heart into it. I put my best lessons that I've learned from facing death into this book. Not just my lessons, also the lessons, the best lessons about life that I've learned from interviewing some of the greatest minds on planet Earth. It's available at your fingertips. It's available for pre-ordering. Pre-ordering is incredibly important for me. I'm going to be very honest with you. Why would you pre-order a book? For me and the movement. I wrote this book to serve, to help others. I know this story. I know our videos literally save lives. And so pre-ordering really helps this mission. Since you're doing me a favor and the movement a favor, I want to do you a favor, okay? So whoever pre-orders the book gets bonuses worth hundreds of euros. You get an entire day of coaching with me, where you transform together with me your body, your mind, your soul, your finances. And as always, I won't hold back. I give you the tools that you need to transform whatever thought, whatever idea, whatever dream you have, you desire, and take that into reality.